Hello, good morning. This is Mark from Dragon Farm. I'm doing an experiment this morning. I'm going to try to do a video for people that obviously are interested in reptiles, particularly, but maybe just knowing about a really alternative way of making a living here in Portugal. And that is sort of reptile farming. Something I've been doing now for over 15 years. We have lots of species here. One of the things we have is we have tortoises. I've really sold very, very few of them in the past because the ICNF, who deal with licensing here for our Article 10 certificates, are a nightmare to work with, and it's very, very difficult to get any sort of licenses. And also the other problem we have with them is just provide enough food. Because I've had problems trying to get licenses for them to sell them, I've got too many at the moment and we're struggling to find enough food for them. So here you can see we're growing dandelions. This is a new thing this year. I really want to try to provide as much or most of the food that we're actually going to give them this year. And it should be improving in the future as well. So we've deliberately sown dandelions, grown them on, potted them up into groups in tubs. That's working really, really well. We can actually cut them back every about two weeks, right down to the ground, and they'll just come bouncing back. And the tortoises absolutely adore dandelions, and they love the flowers too, which is a great bonus. So we've got all these down here, and we're trying to use the irrigation on them. You can see little drippers here. There we go, you see that little dripper there? When that's on, that will actually water them and everything as well. I might try and put that on later on. So yeah, we've got other plants down here. This is a new plant we're growing, which I adore. I had real problems trying to get hold of it. I'm not sure it shows up very well in the video, but it has beautiful orange flowers. Its common name is orange hawkweed or fox and cubs. The second name, well, the first name is fairly obvious really why it's called that. The second name is because each plant has little baby plants come off it, a bit like strawberries, I suppose, in a way, or spider plants, without such a long sort of growing tip. But it spreads along the ground rather nicely. Now that's a really good trait to have for us, because what it's doing effectively is it's growing new plants for us. And I started with, in this pot here, you can see 3 plants, and those 3 plants were just like, I don't know, maybe about 7 centimetre across in the pot, and they've now just spread, and in about a month and a half, just got absolutely mental, absolutely crazy. So I've collected seed off that. We've got some seeds in trays that we're hoping will germinate very, very soon. And that's a plant we've actually planted in the actual cage itself. So what we're going to do as well, another little trick, is I've used some of the land in the cage itself so that we can, how can I explain this? Yeah, so we can basically have it growing in there, but most of the time it's protected by a wall. We've got these concrete blocks, I'll show you. So we've got these concrete blocks that actually sort of stop the tortoises from eating it all, and their access to the plant is limited. So here is where I put 3 plants a couple of days ago. They look a bit awful at the moment, a little bit bedraggled, but they will soon spread across this whole area. And then we can just remove a brick for a few hours, and the tortoises can come in and they can have a feast, and they can, hit them hard quite back, and the plants will come bouncing back. So we've done that with these. There's some more dandelions here that you can see, exactly the same. I will put more in there. I'm going to plant some more, but these are young dandelions that are growing on. And about 2 weeks ago, we actually took out one of the bricks. The tortoises came in. Within an hour, it had all gone, and now they're coming back. But they literally took them down to nothing. There was nothing there left. There's no greenery. I saw one little green, tiny little stub, but there was nothing else other than that. So if I come back over here, back over to the tortoises, unfortunately, and this is what I don't like, I'm not happy with, is today they've got lettuce, and anyone who knows anything about tortoises will know it's not the ideal food. So here's another one here. There's a few here, and they adore lettuce, but it's not very filling. It's not very nutritious. It's not got much roughage in it as well. it's not the best food. Tomorrow they will have some dandelions, and they should be much healthier because of that. But also as well, we're growing over here. I'm starting this new thing, which is these big tubs, and these big tubs are sold very cheaply here. So they cost me about, I think it's about 16 euros each, these ones. And they're actually designed for making wine in. So people put the grapes in the autumn, and then they basically either mash them with their hands or mash them with their feet for people that haven't got huge crops. And they can make wine in them, and they're called dornas in Portuguese. So what I've done, I've bought some of these, and I've made holes in the bottom. I've got kitchen compost in the bottom, and then what's on top of that? There was some mouse bedding from some of our mouse cages. There's some sawdust there that will hold quite a bit of reserves of moisture. And also on top of that, we then put some donkey manure, some dried donkey manure, which is again using things on the farm that we already have. And on top of that, there's just a thin layer, maybe about 2 inches or 5 centimetres of germination compost. This stuff here we get from our local agricultural store, and that's what we use for the top. So I've put again, unfortunately, these are lettuce, unfortunately, but these will be harvestable in about 4 weeks' time, and it will provide a day's worth of food for them. But we're going to move away from lettuce, obviously. That's just something that I got yesterday. These were, believe it or not, probably if you live in somewhere like the UK, you're going to get a shock here. But these plants are like 5 cents each, and after 4 weeks, you get a full, big, huge lettuce plant. So it's ideal. I've got more spaces here for sowing things in. That's actually empty at the moment. I haven't sown anything yet, but I'm going to be trying to get hold of some different seeds, different plants to feed them. And this whole area, which is under an apricot tree, you can see the apricot tree here, and it does have apricots in there. They will fall quite soon. And apricots are strange because they're one of these fruit that if you buy in the shop, they're never quite right. They're never quite perfect because they are much better left to ripen on the tree. The problem is once they're ripe, they fall out of the tree, and that means that they can be just sort of obviously damaged on the ground. The ants will find them, but it's worth it. It's worth picking them up, giving them a little wash sometimes. Most of them I manage to get before the other animals do, and they are just taste amazing. So much better than you can buy in the shops because they've been left to ripen properly. So yeah, this is my little tree here, as you can see. It's a lovely tree, and this shade will make it a lot easier for these plants to grow. The sun is so strong here that most plants really need that sort of shade to grow well in the summer. They just desiccate so much otherwise, or the leaves get burnt. In fact, these dandelion plants that were here, they were actually inside the enclosures until a couple of days ago. This wall here inside, you can see the tortoises had them to look at every day. They were actually inside on the inner wall, and it just got to the point where you could just see they were just struggling a little bit. And I thought, it's time to get them in the shade. So we've got, as you can see, we've got a series of irrigation systems that I'm going to be increasing all the time to make it easy to look after them. So what I'll do quickly is I'll put this on quickly. You can see it working. So just turn the tap on. It takes a little while to kick in, but you can see that one's dripping a little bit. I might need to adjust these. That one's going a bit mad. Yeah. Oh, it's moving a little bit. There we go. And that one's moved as well. I'll get some sticks tomorrow and I'll put them in the pot so they actually do make sure that the jets go in the right place. And there's one here I had 3 leftover little lettuce plants left in there, so I've put them in there. So I think that's enough for today, but I hope you enjoyed seeing a little bit about our farm and what we're up to and understanding what we do here at Dragon Farm. So I think I'll call that a wrap.